This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, August 8th show. It's a great day to talk about money, and that's why I'm here with you, and is what the show is all about: how to make money, save money, and build a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. To talk with the guests that I have in studio, or any questions that you have for me, call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. And right now in studio, my Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare expert, everything in that arena. He knows the answers. Andy Landis, nationally known author and speaker. And today we're going to talk about zombie Social Security. Andy, thank you so much for coming back.
Thanks, Tina. It's great to be here.
Little background on Andy. Andy Landis is our, again, Social Security guru. He is the author of best-selling book, Social Security, The Inside Story, called the Social Security Bible, available on Amazon.com. Andy travels the United States making a sense of Social Security. He has worked with pre-retirees and retirees for 38 years, first at Social Security, then at Boeing, AARP, Weyerhaeuser, and now as a speaker, author, and consultant. Read his blogs at the Wall Street Journal's Market Watch website. And he gets raving reviews because he makes Social Security clear and fun. And he lives here in Seattle with his wife, Kay. He lives with his wife, Kay, but he loves keyboards, camping, computers, cars, and sometimes you always love your kids, Andy. And I'm sure you've set them up really well in your estate planning as well.
It's true. We just did it about 2 years ago. Yay.
2 years, you need to have that looked at because you want to look at it every 12 months, right?
Wow, 12 months?
Right? Okay, maybe every 12, 24 months. So let's talk a little bit about zombie Social Security. Before we do that, let's get into zombies. Let's talk about Social Security and if it's going to be around. What's happening, Andy?
Yeah, compared to the rumors out there, it's good news. We just got a July forecast, the annual accounting of Social Security. Full solvency till 2034, which is a little longer than it's been in the past. And after that, 79% of benefits would be payable, even if Congress does nothing between now and then, which is, I don't know, maybe a pretty good bet. But their job in Congress is to come up with that last 21% of funding for the rest of the century. Otherwise, we're set for longer than a lot of people think.
So even though that we're hearing that Social Security disability is running out of money next year.
Oh, you said the magic word. Yeah. Social Security Disability Fund will run dry in 2016 if nothing is done.
Okay.
And there's a simple fix on the table now to just take the existing tax and reallocate a small portion of it back over to disability from the retirement side. You know, they've done that before and nobody even noticed. So it's the kind of thing that normally Congress would do without any hoorah.
So no real concerns there.
Not if Congress and the president do their jobs, but there's a little bit of concern about that, I guess.
Whole nother conversation.
It's a normal kind of accounting thing to do.
Yeah, got it. So let's talk about zombie Social Security. Can you explain to my listeners, Andy, what is that?
Well, it's a way to have your Social Security both alive and dead, sort of undead, the walking dead, call it what you will. And it's based on the idea that everybody says you should wait, maybe all the way to 70, to delay your Social Security. But you don't want to wait that long. So you want it to be dead in the sense that you're not taking it yet, but you want it to be alive, especially if you have a spouse. You want to have the spouse get Social Security even while you're waiting. So you want it both alive and dead at the same time. Okay,
so explain more why I would want to zombify my Social Security.
Well, you want it dead because you want a higher Social Security payment. You want to wait and wait, maybe all the way to 70 to get your Social Security. But you don't want to wait that long. But basically, you don't want to bring it to life because you want to wait. But you want it alive for your spouse. If you're married, you want your loving spouse to get Social Security spousal payments. Even if he or she is eligible for their own, you can get them on spousal payments. So to do that, you got to bring it to life. You've got to apply for Social Security, but you don't want to.
Yes.
So that's the problem.
A little bit of a pickle.
It's a pickle. So you're stuck between wanting to apply early for your spouse, but wanting to apply late so your own payment is higher.
So the solution?
The solution is to zombify it. You want zombie Social Security. So what you do is you apply for Social Security, but you suspend the payments. Now it's sort of in suspended animation. I just made that up.
That's good, Andy.
So by applying, it's alive enough to allow spousal payments, but it's dead enough that your own payments continue to grow.
Okay.
So you're getting the best of both worlds. It's undead. It's paying spouse benefits, so it's walking around.
Yeah.
But
oh my golly.
Even I'm kind of overwhelmed by this. But
this should have been our Halloween special.
This would be a great Halloween special, yeah. So it's a zombie, but I don't think it'll eat your brain, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Andy, is there any fine print here? I mean, what do you need to watch out for?
There's a little bit. You can't suspend your payments until your full retirement age, which currently is 66. So anytime from 66 to 70, you can suspend the payments. And of course, if your spouse is going to file, he or she has to be eligible, which means they have to be at least 62. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
And anybody can do this. Even a single has reasons to zombify their Social Security.
So what would be the reason for a single person?
There's a cool factor where if you choose anytime from 66 to 70 and you've already suspended your payments, you can say, boy, I wish I didn't do this, and collect all those back payments.
Wow.
Like if you ran into a cash crunch or you found out you had bad medical news and you weren't going to live long enough to make it worthwhile, you could just undo it and collect all those back payments. So
if there was something that happened with your marriage and you have an ex-spouse, any advice on that?
You could, if you're zombified, your ex-spouse can file on your record too. Whether you are getting paid or if they're in suspended animation, your ex-spouse. So if you have an ex, it's really important to know that you could file as a spouse on that record while your own payments grow to age 70. So that's a pretty cool, powerful thing you can do with your ex's Social Security.
Okay. Any other use for zombie Social Security?
Yeah, there is. First, you have to know what a dually is. And that's my own term for anybody who's dually eligible for Social Security. Eligible two or more ways. And you and I are both dualies because we're eligible as workers and we're eligible as spouses on our working spouse record. So a worker and a spouse is dually eligible. If you have an ex-spouse and you're a worker, you're dually eligible. If you, unfortunately, might be widowed, a widow could be a worker and a widow or widower, then you're a dually. So most of us are dualies. Anybody in a two-worker marriage is a dually. Anybody that's been divorced but married for 10 years, anybody who's widowed, anybody that has a work record and they have another work record to file on. Okay.
Anyway, are there any other things that are tying these two together, Andy?
Yeah, because you can file for Social Security on first one record and then the other if you do it right.
Okay.
So what you're doing is you're waiting on your own Social Security because it gets bigger and bigger until you're 70. But you want to get that spousal payment going earlier. And if you're full retirement age, currently 66, you could file as a spouse at 66 and get a small Social Security payment coming in. And then later take your own and get a big raise. And if you live long enough, and it's not very long, it's like to 83. If you live long enough, you're going to come out ahead. So it's really important for anybody who's dually eligible to understand that you could take first one and then the other if you follow the rules right.
Yeah. And just like anything else, Andy, I mean, you really, when it comes to our money and finances, you really have to understand what your options are because there's so many different decisions you can make and you can make a big financial mistake. So, I mean, if someone's listening and wants more information on making sure they are getting things set up, where do they go?
Social Security is a good resource, but to get it all sorted out, you could look at my website, andylandis.biz, www.andylandis.biz, and you'll find books, blogs, videos to try to sort it out. And
awesome.
I think my book is a really good resource for that. Shameless self-promotion here.
Well,
But
that's you should. It's an excellent book.
everybody says it's the best one out there.
Yeah.
So, and that's the goal. So,
And
I'll say
Andy,
it too.
what if someone's listening that, I mean, you go out and you speak with companies and really assisting and helping their workforce and getting things set up. So how can they contact you and get that set up?
Again, it's all on my website at andylandis.biz. Easiest way to catch me. My phone number, email, all that is on there.
Got it. Anything else that you want to share regarding Social Security, things for my listeners to watch out for, and anything that's changing right now that might be different than what?
No big changes recently. Everything's the same. But again, I would say Social Security knowledge is just part of your basic financial literacy.
Yes.
In the way that you have to know how to use a bank account or fill out a job application. You need to know the basics on Social Security. It's the largest source of retirement income. You better not ignore it.
Exactly.
So do your planning. Look ahead. Get the data you need. Get the data you need to do it right.
So, Andy, the most common mistake that people make when it comes to Social Security?
Probably filing too early.
Okay.
My blog this week will be on 5 bad reasons for taking it early. Reasons like, oh, Social Security is going broke. I better get in there and get my money before it's gone.
Yes.
Well, it's not. There's no going
It's not gonna
broke
happen.
on the
Okay.
horizon, so
Okay.
there's no reason to worry
That's
about that.
one. What's the second one?
I'll get more money if I take it early. Well, what you're doing there is betting that you'll die early because you don't have to live very long. By the time you live to average life expectancy, you'll get more money from Social Security by waiting till 66 or 70. Taking it early is not the pathway to get the most money.
Number 3. Oh, Andy, I'm put you on the spot here. What are those 5 reasons
Brain
that people
fade.
get?
Here, I've been working on that just this morning. How about this one? I don't want to draw down my savings.
Okay.
Because if I don't take my Social Security and I don't have my job anymore, I've got to hit my savings. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it's,
which
it's
that
really
makes
painful
Yeah,
to
exactly.
hit the savings. Absolutely, I
Okay.
get that. But one thing that can help there, first of all, if you do the math, figure out how much your Social Security payments would be from, say, 62 to 66.
Okay.
If you're thinking about taking it early. Can you set that aside in savings? Just set it aside in cash to replace the Social Security payments. Talk to a financial planner, and you might find out you'll come out ahead by doing that.
Yeah.
And if you are blessed with large resources, let's say you have a large IRA, something traditional IRA, boy, there's some tax planning you can do around Social Security. If you wait till 70 on your IRA, you're going to have forced withdrawals, required minimum distributions. And the more money that's in there, the higher those distributions will be, and they're all taxable. So one idea, if it works for you when you do the math, is draw the traditional IRA earlier, postpone the Social Security. Now your required minimum distributions will be smaller tax bite, and your Social Security that kicks in at 70 is tax advantaged.
Wow.
So that may be a better tax plan
Yeah.
for you to postpone the Social Security too.
And great advice, Andy. And I just, if you're listening, really, you need to have what I call your wealth management team. Everybody that is your experts in your financial planning, your estate planning, your tax advice, understanding how Social Security ties into every aspect and bringing your partners together. Andy, thank you so much for coming into studio, sharing your information. And I encourage all of you listening to get Andy's book and to go to his website with any questions that you have on Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Tina.
Coming up next on the Money Hour, how can you invest in companies that own commercial real estate? Well, you can. What are REITs? We're going to talk about that. Gary Castle with Mountain Top Advisors right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW after the short break.